We were formed by his love, born by his touch. Life to the lungs and the God we trust. Words at the chest carry sounds with breath. It's digest, down deep with the science. Tread lightly, don't sleep, silence is deadly. Ready yourself now steady, act swiftly, think quickly. Be the salt of the earth, friendly, big smile, make others happy. Be alert, and let his love give birth. Through your deeds and your works, we have been saved by grace. Born again, changed, praise his name. Testify, be a witness. Act like him, show others forgiveness. Hallelujah, lift his name on high. Raise your hands to the sky. Give all glory and praise to the maker. Nothing is greater than our creator. Hallelujah, lift his name on high. Raise your hands to the sky. Give all glory and praise to the maker. Nothing is greater than our creator. Follow his path, it's the one that is narrow. You may struggle, but he's won the battle. We're foreigners, we are not of this world. Born again, we are living examples. Give a hand and always be helpful. Put others first, seek to be humble. Share his love, spread the gospel. And don't get caught in the day-to-day hustle. Listen closely, pray constantly. He knows all your needs, he is watching. You're not alone, your cup runneth over. He feeds sparrows, he clothes flowers. He provides for his sons and his daughters. He is immortal, the source of our power. We can laugh in the face of disaster. We got problems, he's got answers. Hallelujah, lift his name on high. Raise your hands to the sky. Give all glory and praise to the maker. Nothing is greater than our creator. Hallelujah, lift his name on high. Raise your hands to the sky. Give all glory and praise to the maker. Nothing is greater than our creator. Even when life has you down in the dumps, when you can't take no more and you've just had enough, he's got your back, has control of it all, has a plan for the big and the small. Many tragedies bring majesty. He can turn suffering into beauty. Every struggle a new opportunity to be closer to him, grow spiritually. Discover truth in the face of adversity. No need to worry, rest assuredly. He turns problems into prosperity, disabilities into agilities. He actually can engage our reality, erase burdens with prayers effectively. He works actively, interacting in amazing ways to fulfill every destiny. Hallelujah, lift his name on high. Raise your hands to the sky. Give all glory and praise to the maker. Nothing is greater than our creator. Hallelujah, lift his name on high. Raise your hands to the sky. Give all glory and praise to the maker.
Good evening, everybody. Destiny Lab. DestinyLab.com. Go over there and pay him a visit, y'all. Good music. Nope, not yet. That one's coming up after the show. Alrighty. Here we go. Getting it off to a speedy start. Got a bunch of people coming on the show tonight, so we'll start it off with David F. Town Bala. Ring his phone here, Mr. Lance Mussa. He's supposed to be under some kind of hurricane, storm, snow, blowy, blizzard type weather watch thing. So we'll check in with Lance and see what's going on down there. What's up, David?
What's up, Jim?
Got a bunch of folks coming on tonight. We'll see if Lori's going to pick up or not. I doubt it. She's pretty tired after her journeys and stuff. Mr. Vaughn, getting him added in here too. And I'll wait on Dan. Wait till he lets me know he's done eating dinner and stuff. Dan's going to try to come on tonight, so that ought to be good. That's going to be a first. How you doing, Vaughn?
Hey, how about you? You doing all right, Jim?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm going to be bouncing back and forth off of the camera and off of the mic and stuff tonight because I got to keep my fireplace going. I lost half of my heat coils overnight last night, so it was everything I could do to keep the house about 65 today. Fire roaring and fans going, and so they should be here in the morning. Get it all fixed up, patched up. So, waiting on that. Be a long night.
I hear that.
But that's enough of my bullshit. How's things going up there in the northern tier of the states? Y'all are freezing your butts
Let's take
off.
a weather shot here. We're looking at 16 degrees right now, so that's a hell of an improvement. That's a heat wave, Brenda said.
Yeah, it got up to 32 today here, so 34, something like that. So it was pretty nice after having been in the teens for the last couple of days. So, and it's supposed to, I think it's going to be in the 20s, the high 20s tomorrow, and then back up into the 30s and 40s, by the end of the week. So that's not too bad. That's why I live in the Mid-South. All right.
Well, they got snow and ice in Florida. They got snow and ice in Atlanta, and on up the coast as it goes. So they're in for quite a treat on the East Coast.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to get a hurricane full of snow. So that should be fun.
Sound like 70-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah, I'm hoping that I just texted Lance and said, "Come on," so we'll find out where he's at. I want to see what it's looking like out his window because it's supposed to start around his place tonight. And I sent him a map earlier today from Reed Timmer, the tornado guy, the tornado chaser guy, and he's watching this thing like a hawk. And it's supposed to be really bad where Lance is. They're talking huge winds, huge snow. And he's right on the water, so mercy. They were talking today, earlier today, I saw a live feed from Charleston, South Carolina. You couldn't even see the fucking interstate from the camera on top of the overpass. It was coming down like mad. So I can only imagine what it's going to do because it's supposed to gain storm speed. Pull more moisture up. They actually had flurries today in Florida somewhere, I think, up around Jacksonville or something. So, yikes. All right. What's going on up in your neck of the woods, David? Like 20 below shit, wind blowing?
That's about it. That's going on for just almost over a week now. It's just insane, Then yesterday we had like a mini blizzard came out of nowhere. It was like 30 minutes you couldn't see your hand in front of your face.
I can't believe you've been putting up with that crap for 30 years, dude. I wouldn't even. Nope.
But no, it's my 31st winter, 31 now this year.
Mercy.
Uh-huh.
Well, Charlie said that he's ready to add in, so boom. Let's see if we can get him added in. Oh, Lance says he'll be along later. He's tied up. Tell her to untie you. All right. So, well, we'll see if Charlie can add in. He said he's ready to go. I don't see him lit on my Skype thing, but we'll give him a go here.
Dan was out there, but I don't know if he's going to come in or not.
Was that him that said okay just a second ago? Nope. He's not ready. He said he'd be along in a little bit. He was eating dinner. So Charlie said okay, I thought. Oh, wait a minute. That's Charlie's old ID. There's Charlie's new ID. Derp. Evidently, he didn't get his old account back. So here we go with Charlie's new ID. There he is. What's up, Charlie?
Hello.
New ID and all. I tried to add the old one. You got to change your picture over. I'm used to the wolf face.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to that whole old account. It was like totally gone.
That's unusual.
It is. Yeah. And the everything I'm looking at now on the screen is completely different than the way it used to be. So I have no idea what changed, but whatever.
Brand new.
Anyway, Skype. Hi. How are you guys?
Your Skype's now being routed through the NSA van.
Yeah, you're probably right.
What's happening, Charles?
Not much, man. How about you?
Oh, not much.
It's good to have you on, Charlie. It's been a long time since we talked. I think it's like last year sometime. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. At least a couple days.
Yep. So, how's everything up in your neck of the woods? Are you freezing your butt off like Dave?
Probably not like Dave, but it's pretty cold. It's we got down to 1 for a little bit last week, but it's been in the teens, so it's not terrible.
Yeah, 1's ugly cold.
Yeah,
when it goes down into the single digits, that's when your butt starts puckering when you walk outside, and I don't like it. Even if you're dressed for it, it's still You know, that cold air takes your breath away the first time you walk. Ugh, I don't like it. Got my fill
Well, it
of
was
it when
puckering when I just looked outside, so I don't know.
You guys got snow on the ground up there?
What's that?
You got snow?
Yeah, about 6-8 inches.
Really? Nice.
Yeah. Well, and being in the canyon too, I'm in the shadow, so it's like whatever hits the ground does not go away, and it won't go away till March.
Yeah, I was going to say April, something like that.
Yeah, pretty much. I usually have an iceberg in front of the house. I usually get about 5 to 6 feet in front of the house, so that's like May by the time that's gone.
Yikes.
Yeah, our snow don't leave until like May or June.
Yeah.
First week of June usually, sometimes a little bit sooner, but you can say between May and June before all the snow completely melts.
You're at that point of the in the season where you could just scoop up the snow, put it in, and put your cold lemonade right on there while you're doing yard work.
Time it melts, it's already winter again, you know. So
I know. You just get done drying out, and it's time to rake leaves.
Well, It's like I tell everybody, North Dakota up here, man, we're the first to get winter and the last to get summer. So if you think about that, you know, all this cold air everybody's seeing now, when it retreats, you all will be getting warmer, you know, way before, you know, it'll come up so far to us and just stay until like around April, middle of April. This cold air will just hang over us until then, you know. So while everybody else is already experiencing spring-like temperatures, we'll get spring like a month after everybody else.
And on top of that, randomly throughout the summer, you guys will get triple-digit temperatures just out of nowhere. You know, like tomorrow in Fargo, it's supposed to be 112. You know.
Yeah, we do too, man. And we'll have, and it's weird, you know, different parts of North Dakota will have a tornado outbreak every year. It'll just happen.
Well, yeah, that happens up in Canada too, though. I mean, there's just a certain time of the year that through that part of the country, you guys get twisters. So, and some of them are big ass stovepipes, man. You guys have had some of the largest ones on record.
Rolling you know,
through the plains up there.
The what do you call it? What's the alert system? The F system, the F5. We had the very first F5 in Fargo, and was it 1940s, 1950s, and that's when they started.
The very first one caught on film. Yep.
It wiped out the whole north side of town up here, man. And like a big swath.
Yep.
People say it's haunted.
Sounds like a great place for tourism.
Hundreds of people, I think 100 and something people lost their lives in there.
Yeah.
Oh, see, now you got to trump me with that one, huh? I make a funny and you talk about dead people. Great, thanks. Appreciate that.
If you go to that side of town, though, they say there's apartments built there now, and people are always saying they're hearing noises they can't explain and everything else.
Ghosts, yeah. There's a place up in Anchorage called Earthquake Park, where when they had the major earthquake up there, the 9+ on the Richter scale up there in Anchorage, it sunk like a third of the town, fell about 25 feet or whatever, and started, I mean, all the houses were covered up by mudslide and everything, and they just put a big fence around it and call it Earthquake Park. And you can still see, you know, rear ends of cars sticking up out of the ground, and chimney tops, and there's a very eerie energy when you walk close to that place too. So a lot of people lost their lives in that one.
That sucks.
Moving on to some brighter news. What's going on in the world of World War III, Dave? Yeah, hang out, Ginger. We do a plethora of things on this show, so it's just kind of a live stream for a couple hours. We bitch about the government, we bitch about headlines, we bitch about cops shooting dogs and people and all kinds of shit. So hang out. You'll have a good time. Go ahead, Dave.
Well, I guess, yeah, you know what's going on with North Korea. North Korea, they set up their communication line again. They got two of them. They set up one, South Korea and North Korea. First time they've talked in 2 years. They've talked 3 times already.
The red
20
phone.
20 minutes altogether, and then basically there's been no information passed. North Korea called South Korea today just to check in. And it's the weirdest thing now. It's like now North Korea just wants to be best buddies with South Korea.
I would love to have been a fly on the wall in either of those offices when that call was taking place. You know,
because President Moon, you know, he's a big liberal over there, and you know he's willing to live with North Korea having nuclear weapons. He's even pretty much stated it when he became president. He's willing to just do deterrence and then allow him to have his nukes over there and be friends with them have unifications between the families, because there's, they're all the same people. It's just that DMZ separates them,
Yep. It's kind of like
they got brothers, sisters,
East
cousins,
and West Germany.
aunts, uncles.
It's like the East and West Germany thing when they put the wall up and stuff. Yeah. So.
Moon wants that, and you can understand that, but at the same point, we're going after a different agenda. We're after I don't know what's going to happen between South Korea and us. Now they say Little Kim was smart because he knew that this would cause some kind of a split between us and South Korea.
Right.
Because we absolutely don't want talks with North Korea unless it's giving up his nuclear weapons. So we've been telling the South, don't talk to these guys unless they're going to give up their nukes. And Moon refuses that and says, I'm going to talk to them whether they want to or not.
Moon's got 100,000 plus civilians looking at him going, hey, man, are you going to really let them start shelling us? Come on.
Yeah, there's 10 to 12 million live in Seoul alone.
Right.
And so, yeah,
he's got a lot of pressure from his constituency going, you better clamp down on this shit, man.
Because they're really scared that Trump's going to bring a war there and kill all
Trump's
these
just,
South
look, the Secret Service, somebody, please take Trump's phone away from him or block his Twitter account or do something. The guy is a fucking lunatic online, right? Talking about how big his button is and shit and... Come on, man. You're the president of the United States, Trump. Stop talking about your fucking button.
I got in some arguments with some Trump people on Twitter today, and they're like, I support him, but him saying that, it's about time we have a president that has balls and a president that lets another country know we won't be bullied.
That's one of the people that think that he's the Messiah.
Yep, that's exactly it. And he's got a hardcore base, man.
Yeah, they're a bunch of lunatics just like him.
Yeah.
Bunch of arrogant fucking shitheads.
Let them be saying this when a nuclear war ever gets started, Let them be saying it then when they're dying and, frying and everything else.
Won't be their kids, right?
Yeah.
Won't be their kids. Their kids got cushy jobs in big companies as CEOs or VPs or whatever,
I think what Trump said on Twitter last night was absolutely unbecoming of the president. It wasn't presidential whatsoever. It was playing on the same level as Little Kim. And we're supposed to, we're supposed to be, we act like we're supposed to be above these nations, but we've got a president that acts just as low as some of these nations that we're against.
Right. That's exactly right.
He's playing, he needs to be above Kim and say, hey, and not mouth off. And he's, what he said last night, we won't get nuked for. I don't believe that, but it's not going to sit well with Little Kim. No. And it's not kissing his ass. It's just trying to prevent a war, I don't want a war with North Korea. It will be bad. It will be something we've never seen in this generation.
You got that right.
Yeah. Because you're going to involve China. And China and Russia know that Trump's going to do this. China has moved up troops right by the Yellow River, which is their northern border on North Korea.
They're practicing evacuating people.
They've moved up tanks.
Yeah, they're practicing all kinds of evacuation drills and flotillas.
They've set up refugee camps.
Yep.
And then on top of that, was it last week or the week before, Putin switched out all of Russia's S-300s on the Korean border to S-400s. Switched them out. He's had troops moved up for a while. They've been doing amphibious drills Russia has off the coast of North Korea over there.
You guys want to know, remember a couple years ago, we did all kinds of stories about the ghost cities in China that they'd spent $50 billion building these 10 cities or whatever that are out in the middle of fucking nowhere, and they got all these high rises and everything's ready to go. Streets are done. All kinds of shopping centers, blah, 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 you name it. And nobody lived there. Yeah, nobody lived there. Everybody was like, why the fuck are they spending all it? Now you know. They saw it coming. They knew it was coming. This is all by design, people. This is all scripted. Years, decades in advance. And they just sit back and wait because they got the money to do it. They got the time to do it. They could just sit back and wait. Are they sleep enough yet? No, not yet. Okay, let's keep going. Okay. Let's bump the stock market up a little bit more. Okay. Sorry, had to rant just a minute. Go ahead, David.
No, so, you know, everybody's in place. China and Russia's all in place over there. You know, we're in place. You know, we've got a carrier right there in Japan already there. You know, we'd have to have probably, I don't know if how many we'd need, but
we're already ready already. Imagine that.
Yeah. You know,
you think it's got anything to do with us being the military-industrial complex, and the only thing that we build worth a fuck in this country is weapons? I think so.
Well, it just seems like Trump, you know, you've got Secretary of Defense Mattis, you've got Tillerson there, which I don't care for him, but whatever. You know, they're both been out they've been pushing. We'd like a diplomatic issue, even though I don't think our government really wants one, obviously, and the people above our government don't want one, you know. No. So not that I believe Tillerson and Mattis when they say they want peace, but they've been the two ones going around saying they do, and Trump's been the one undercutting them every single time.
Every single time. And now he's throwing Bannon under the bus, saying they lost his fucking mind. We'll get into that as soon as you're done with this headline. Go ahead.
The deal, you know, with the South taking this phone call with North Korea was basically South Korea giving the middle finger to Donald Trump.
Well, I don't know if it was necessarily that.
Whether you want us to or not.
Right, but it was basically what he's doing is saying, look, you know, we don't want war. We don't want war. I mean, you know, exactly. No matter what you're saying.
That's what he's saying.
Right. Because he knows what's coming. He knows what's coming. And he's probably not going to make it through.
No, I don't think that this gesture that North Korea is making to the South is going to make a bit of difference to the PTB.
No, they're going to have their war, and the Korean Peninsula is going to be a smoking rubble before this is done. And then China's going to be swooping in there to claim most of it. I'm pretty much guessing because they're going to go right for Taiwan as soon as the first bomb hits the fucking ground.
Well, South Korea was really worried about the Winter Olympics, you know, and with this tension, and this is why they reached out to North Korea about a month ago and said, "Listen, we would like you to participate in the Winter Olympics." You know,
didn't Tillerson or Brenner or somebody say if North Korea goes, we're not?
Graham did.
Graham, okay, go ahead.
Lindsey Graham. But
I thought it was one of the generals.
Anyway, South Korea wanted North Korea to be in these Olympics. Well, they gave him a month notice. A month went by, and they missed entering anybody. So Japan took their spot, and so everybody figured, hey, I guess North Korea don't want to be in it. Fine, whatever. We tried. Well, then out of the blue on New Year's Eve, during Little Kim's New Year's Eve speech, he announces to South Korea, "I want to talk to you. I want to enter participants in the Winter Olympics." And that caught everybody by surprise. Caught South Korea by surprise. Caught us by surprise. And all of a sudden he throws out a fig leaf, you know, to South Korea, saying, "All right, you know, I'll do this," which is no one's had communications with Little Kim in South Korea in 2 years.
Perfect.
So what's
World War II.
Go ahead, Vaughn. Sorry.
I said that sounds like perfect groundwork to World War II. Remember with Hitler?
Oh yeah. What Olympic sport is he trying to get somebody in?
Well, he just wants North Korea to enter some athletes, no matter what the sport is.
Oh, okay, I got you.
You know,
so they don't have a full-blown Olympic team. They just want to have a couple people come over, wave the flag around.
Well, North Korea had already agreed to be in the Paralympics, which they have after the Winter Olympics every year. They have the Paralympics, and North Korea already has a group up in Germany training for the Paralympics.
I'm going to check them on fire.
And so South Korea told them, "We want you in the regular Olympics too," and you know, and they said, "All right, we'll do it." And so this is a fig leaf to South Korea. You know, Little Kim also came out in his New Year's Eve speech says he wants reunification of the Koreas, a friendly reunification of the Koreas. You know, and so this is another instance of America being into something we probably shouldn't be in anymore. I mean, the Korean War's been over. You know, hasn't been officially over, but it's you know it stopped back in the 50s. We should. You know, what right do we have to tell South Korea, you can't sit down and talk to North Korea? You're the same people. You know, it's just strategic interest in our eyes to stay over in South Korea. I think personally we should pull off our troops off the DMZ, shut our bases down, and get the hell out. The people of South Korea, this new generation, don't want us there anyway. And it's the same with Japan. The Japanese people don't want us in Japan anymore. And we keep telling these countries, tough shit, we're going to be here. We'll give you some money, and you're going to let us put our people here. You know, this is, to me, that's almost criminal, but I guess whatever. You know, what do you think about that, Vaughn?
I think that's 100% true. There would be no recourse if we was to pack our guys and leave. It would actually open up an alliance back with the people. Half of the people in South Korea are from North Korea originally. It's just family. They're all family. You know, it's like it was like East and West Germany, you know, after World War II. What the hell, guys? How long do you want to separate them for your own gain? Do we not make fools of ourselves in this world as it is? We need to give them a break. Right, Dave?
Yeah, that's exactly it. You know, I mean, the only reason we want to remain in Japan and South Korea is strategic, and that's so we're that much closer to China.
Yeah, so we can bomb them next.
It ain't so much North.
Sorry,
what's that?
I said so we can bomb them next.
Yeah, and that's, you know, you just got to look at the geopolitical map. And I'm not saying I'm anti-war. I'm not no fucking liberal, man. But you look at the map of all of our bases and where they're at. You know, we've got Iran completely surrounded. We've got troops right on the Russian border. You know, the closer we can get to China, the more it serves our strategic interest, you know, and that's exactly what Japan and South Korea is about, and the Philippines.
Yep.
You know, and the Philippines. It's all to get is bring in as much of China as we can.
Just like we did, just like we've been doing to Russia over the last 10 years.
Well, see, that's where we've got the advantage on you know, with land-wise, how we can get closer to Russia and China, and this is why they've got more missiles,
right?
Because they can only get so close to us.
Yeah, we get two big bodies of water protecting us. Well, that's why China, as soon as they, or Russia, as soon as they could, when everything was all squashed during the Obama administration, they slipped right back into Cuba.
Yep.
So yeah.
They're in Venezuela, too.
That was strategery, as W would put it.
They've got a spy base over in Cuba. That spy ship's always over there. It goes back and forth between Russia and all the way to there and ran around.
Right.
Sits off our east coast a little bit. You know, and then they've got a little military base over in Venezuela.
Were you going to say something, Charlie? I heard you, or I saw you light up over there.
I was just going to say that, you know, since it's dealing with the Olympics, we should send over Caitlyn Bruce Jenner and try to make the negotiations there. The interior of the Olympics.
Oh, jeez.
So that might spin it up a little.
Makes you wonder who was diddling his butt when he was in the Olympic teams and stuff. I mean, you know, there's all that shit coming out about the coaches fucking around with the athletes and stuff for decades, you know, so... Maybe he had his pooper penetrated when he was back there throwing the javelin and stuff.
When did Snickers come out? No, just kidding.
All right. What's next?
You know, our intelligence agencies yesterday put out that North Korea was getting ready to launch another ICBM any day now, between this week and next week.
They've been saying that for a year.
But what's that?
Haven't they been saying that for a year?
No, this is like just a regular missile launch like they did in November.
Right.
And they were going to get ready to launch another ICBM, test another one out. But South Korean military says they don't see any signs of it. So who knows, man?
No. Our intelligence is wrong on something? No. Come on. Sorry.
Well, that or South Korea is going to say because they're talking to Little Kim now, he canceled it or something else like that.
Well, that could be. That could be.
We're going to be launching a whole bunch of missiles over here from SpaceX. What the hell's the difference? A little thing with a little flame behind it is all the same, ain't it?
Yep.
Yeah. But every time SpaceX launches a rocket over here, everybody thinks it's Project Bluebeam.
His project to see if it'll get up in the sky far enough before it burns out and falls in the ocean.
Well, no, they got the one that comes back and lands on a little dot in the ocean, a little barge. Remember? That's SpaceX.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. Boy, that
Reusable.
was special effects. That was beyond reality.
Reusable rockets.
Man. That was cool. I don't think I've ever seen that done so well. That was cute.
Didn't we have a reusable rocket? Wasn't it the space shuttle, something like that? Didn't we have one of those before? That was bigger. It had wheels on it and shit, too. It was cool looking. I don't know what ever happened to that.
I had a little one that was about maybe a foot and a half long. It was clear. You put water in, and pump it up, and shoot it up. It was reusable many times.
I just don't know whatever. I mean, we dumped tons of money into that fucker, and then all of a sudden we just decided to stick them in museums. So, hey, there you go. Okay, that's got absolutely nothing to do with what we were talking about other than Kim shooting a rocket. So,
yay, a rabbit hole.
Yeah, rabbit hole, yeah. All right. Tie something else into it. Keep going.
All right, let's talk about Iran now.
All right.
We still got the protests going on for like the seventh day now.
Yeah, 7 days. They've killed over 100 people so far, from what I saw.
You know, the head of the IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, says that the protests have stopped and they've got it under control, which is a lie. And that's what they're pushing. The Iran government's pushing that they've all got them all squashed. And there's been video after video come out all day today and part of tonight of new protests happening.
Wasn't there a portion of the IRGC or something that actually took up sides with the people?
It wasn't. It was the Iranian. There's different. The Iranian military. Then you got the IRGC. Then you got other groups. The IRGC is like the royal guard of the president,
right? Or so, I mean, it was some military faction or some police department or something like that.
It was some regular military people.
That doesn't look good. Cool.
But well, you know, Iran was it last night? They drove the IRGC drove a big Humvee right through the middle of a crowd and ran I don't know how many people over and injured how many. They pretty much blocked all the internet in Iran. They cut off every kind of way that these people can talk to each other, and the only way videos are getting out is through special VPNs and everything else. And they're having a hard time getting shit out now to show the world that this is still happening.
Well, you could see that coming. I mean, they do the same thing in Turkey, do the same thing in Saudi Arabia. So
they do the same thing here too.
They will. Yep.
Angus.
They know how fast we'd mass up through the internet if something went down. They've already seen the protests this country's been through. You know,
Sorry, I had to tickle my dog. Go ahead.
And so, you know, you got that going on with Iran. Now, the protests have slowed down a bit. I will say that much. There's not as many, but they're still happening. It hasn't lost steam yet, and they said that most likely Friday after Friday prayers it's going to pick up again. And they've been very violent protests. They've been burning government buildings. They've been burning banks. They've been doing it right. They're going after everything that the regime stands for. The banks, some of the holy sites.
Fucking A, man. Eliminate that paperwork, baby. That's the ties to everything. Just eliminate that paperwork. That's exactly what they're doing. You know, most of it's electronic now, so you're gonna have to go for the hard drives and shit and all the server bases. But hey, they know what they're doing. They got the cops running away. They got the military running away.
Yeah,
because they outnumber them on the street 100-1. So yeah, they're doing it right. You said it right the first time, man. They're doing it right. It's going to be interesting to watch over the next couple of weeks. Because I don't think it's going to stop.
I mean, they're just not out. The deal between them and us, when we protest over here, these people aren't just out holding the sign and marching down the street or breaking into grocery stores and looting. These people are hitting banks. They're hitting government institutions. They're hitting religious institutions.
And they're burning the paperwork.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so these people are doing it right. If you're going to hold a revolution and a protest type thing, this is the way you go about it.
Charlie, I just read what you typed in the room, dude. Wheaties was the safe word. Was he an EE or was he an or I'm pretty sure he was an EE. You know, there's two kinds. There's the EE and there's the
Depends on how much.
I'm pretty sure Bruce was an EE.
How much pillow you're biting on.
I had this dream that I ate this huge marshmallow.
Those aren't pillows. What?
Soap on a rope, anybody? Okay. Sorry,
Where's
Dave.
Lori? Where's Lori?
She said, I mean,
Get this laugh machine rolling.
she had to go bury a family member and stuff, and just got back from that, and she's been sick the last couple of days too. So I'm cutting her some slack.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That stinks.
You can send her some love though.
It's cold outside too, and that's even worse.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So, moving on swiftly. Next story, David.
Well, Trump came out today and says he's mulling putting new economic sanctions on Iran. They said right now they're trying to decide which ones they want to put on them.
That's that's part of the reason that people are protesting right now anyway, because they've been under sanctions for how long? Just like North Korea. It's just fucking. And sanctions, if nobody remembers, and we talk about this all the time on this show and on your show, David, when you do your shows, sanctions are an act of war. It says that right in the Geneva Convention, I believe. And I'm sure it's in the military handbook of the United States. Sanctions are an act of war. So.
They said that we're gonna, if we put these economic sanctions on Iran, it's gonna be against individuals in the Tehran regime who are responsible for cracking down on Iranian protesters.
It's like they did in. Never mind. Just same shit. Russia, same shit. They're gonna start throwing sanctions against China too as soon as the fucking Korean War starts, man. Go ahead.
Well, the whole deal with these protests, and I agree, and, like they said, the Iranian nation, what they say, you read different, they said at least 40% of that population is under the age of 21.
Yeah.
And it's the new up-and-coming generation, man, and they're sick of...
What was that percentage, Dave?
40%.
40? Wow. Okay.
Is under the age of 21, so they don't play the old games that the old mullahs over there used to play. They want to be more of a democracy and wear Western style clothes, and a lot of people do over there, but they can only do so much. And they want to be more Western than they do, more European/Western than religious anymore. The religious bullshit to them is going out the window. And so they want these old mullahs gone too. The Ayatollah, all of them, they want all these old timers out. Plus the Iranian regime is taking the money for themselves after all that money Obama gave them went straight to the military. Imagine that. That big pallet of money that Obama was sent over went straight to the IRGC.
That's how they bought the S-400s.
Yep, they did.
I think that the elite are running through the same thing right now. The Bilderbergers, the Rothschilds, the Rockefeller, they have all these, as far as the Bilderbergs go, they have all these new little up-and-comers, these younger guys, these big CEOs that got a shit ton of money, and they think differently than the old hat, and there's some strife there, So
yep.
this is the coming generation. What are you going to do?
So these younger kids are pissed because they knew that America had sent them all that money, and the people on the streets didn't see 1 cent of it. The jobs, unemployment rates getting really out of control over there,
just like in the U.S. Go ahead.
Yeah, and so these kids have had it, but I also think, knowing what I know, being awake, is that of course America, Saudi Arabia, and Israel, and probably some European nations are helping push this. We've been trying to get this regime out of there for decades.
CIA! CIA! I'm sorry. Mossad!
We've tried these protests before, and they've never really worked, and so they're trying something. They're pumping a lot of money into this one. I figure when they're hoping that the Iranian regime just really snaps on these kids and just takes thousands of them down, hundreds of thousands, so they can go to the UN and complain about it. This is just another way of getting a war going with Iran. That's all it is. This is another way that Israel, Saudi, and America is going to try to take them down.
Mm.
And they're trying these protests, and if that don't work, military options are probably going to be right back on the table again.
Does this remind anybody of Iraq, Syria, Lebanon? Go back over the last 20 years, Vietnam. Come on, man. Go ahead.
Well, like I said, they're trying to get a world war going with North Korea and Iran at the same time, and they're going to start which one bites first, whether it be North Korea or Iran. It's the same thing's it'll be Syria times 2.0 if Iran goes, because
it'll be way worse than Syria, dude. It'll be way worse than Syria.
Oh, yeah, because the Iranian regime won't mess around. They'll just start to execute. This is what got the protests kind of slowed down today. The Ayatollah made an announcement early this morning over there, late last night, and told these protesters, you've got the right to protest. We'll give you that. But the minute we see one of you burning anything, breaking anything, you will be executed on the spot. Then that protest kind of slowed down after that today. But they're still going. And they said after Friday prayers, they're still going to pick up again. But that was a damning statement from the Ayatollah to them people, saying you will be killed on the spot. So he's telling these people, and of course, America, Israel, and Saudi knew it was going to come to this, and we're willing to sacrifice all these kids just so we can try to get a regime change. That's why I feel bad for these kids. They're fighting for the right reason, but they're being controlled for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
They've got their American and Saudi and Israeli backers saying, all right, we're gonna make sure you do this, but if you die, you die. I guess the choice is yours.
Whose kid's gonna die?
Not theirs.
Yeah, not theirs. Not the people making the decisions or pushing the buttons or scratching the fucking. Hang on, Micah. I'll get you added in there, Buck. Hang on, Buck. I'll get you added in here in just a second. I'll get you added in. I got to add you. I can't just tap on the call there. So Buck is going to add back into the call. He's got some stuff that he wants to say, and this is a local cat here. So I mean, he's a friend of mine. So we'll see what he's got to say. We'll get him added in here.
Conversation.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here, Buck. Are you?
Well, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good, man. Doing the show. Are you wanting to add in on some of the discussions that we got going on here, or what's going on?
We're drinking a little bit. The hell, I can barely hear you again.
Oh, we use your phone line.
Hang on just a second. Let me make Micah turn this thing up.
Here, tell them we'll call
Get the
back.
volume.
Tell them we'll call back.
Do it.
Tell them we'll call back.
Oh, she said we'll call you right back.
Okay.
Right.
Hey, is that weasel?
Right.
Yeah.
I would say hi to y'all, weasel.
Is it off?
There you go. Now she got it hung up. All right. Yeah, he's the weasel. He's the weasel. We'll get him added in here in just a little bit. Hopefully. What is that right there? Merge incoming call with ongoing call. Here we go. Did that do it? Hey, there we go. Got him added. All right, Buck, you're back. Buck.
Maybe he's on mute.
Yeah, well, it could be something like that, or he's trying to use a headset and doesn't have it. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Moving on. What were we talking about, David?
Talking about Iran.
All right, keep going then.
So of course they're getting sponsored by all of us, and we're doing the same thing as we did in Syria, as we did in Egypt, as we did in Libya.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is getting to be old hat, man. We talk about this every week. They're following this script, and they do it over and over and over and over and over. But they wait a little bit of time. They're not waiting near as long as they used to, but You know, usually it was like 20 years or something, and then they'd start it with another country and do the same shit again. And people just don't remember, man. And there's no cognitive thought going on anywhere in this country. Otherwise, people go, wait a minute, man. Didn't we just do this 15 years
6
ago?
weeks ago?
Yeah, well, yeah. Did we just waste $2 or $3 trillion in Iraq doing the same fucking thing over the same fucking bullshit? Yeah.
Well, the last time we did this was Ukraine.
Right.
But
yeah, we didn't get that war kicked off, though, right? I mean, we didn't get the war kicked. We're still trying to kick that war off. Can't get it going.
Yep.
You know, Biden's kid's been over there, you know, I don't know how long now.
Well, let me tell you how serious this Iran thing and how people are stupid.
Go ahead.
You know, a list came out the other day of the politicians that are supporting these protesters that are calling for more support for them, that we need to do everything we can for them. Mm-hmm. There was a list of about 7 people. It's probably bigger now. Of course, Trump has made several statements in support of these protesters, saying, you know, we'll do whatever we can for you. And that's exactly what he said. You've had Vice President Pence has came out in the same direction, of course. And we fully support him. Of course, Lindsey Graham, John McCain, both have came out and said, finally. That was their exact words, finally. But the biggest one is this. Hillary Clinton came out and fully supports this. And Trump is on the same page with Hillary Clinton. Both of them are supporting this. So this is deadly for Iran if this gets going the way they want.
I think that Hillary Clinton she's just a warmonger like McCain. But I really think that the reason she's throwing her 2 cents in is to keep the attention off of her for a minute when it comes to the investigation, and because they got
she supported this. When she was Secretary of State, she tried for many years there, several years to get something.
If she'd have made it into the presidency, we'd have been at war the next day. You know,
so it's not surprising that she's all for this too. But to see her and Trump on the same list is pretty crazy. You know, especially when all the Trump supporters think that he's going to lock her up. No, they're working together right now on a common issue that they do have common things they both agree on. One is this, and another is the police state.
Oh yeah,
that was one thing that Hillary and Trump both agreed on during the elections. We needed a bigger police state.
War and control.
So they also agree on this Iran issue. And so this shows you that the Bilderbergs on one side that represent Hillary and the Rothschilds on the other that represent with Trump, they're working together on this Iranian issue. This is Soros and Kissinger on the same side right now.
Absolutely. Go, Charlie. You want to add in?
No.
Oh, I saw you light up over there on the call. So.
I bumped it. I apologize.
That's all right. It's all right. Now, you, Vaughn. You want to add in, Vaughn? Guess not.
I'm sorry, I was drinking some coffee. I'm listening.
Oh, okay. You want to add anything to the conversation?
Yeah, it's just a simple fact is, why is it that everybody that's got the awareness of what these people are in this country and aren't on the page of the fact that we're talking about a lot of people losing their lives, and nobody's not really bitching about it
because it's not on their front doorstep yet.
Right, they're not going to react until it affects them personally, or monetarily. They'll start bitching when fuel goes to $10 a gallon, or you can't go to the store and get a loaf of bread for less than $8, or you know what I mean. A gallon of milk's $12.95. That's when they'll start bitching. Until then, they're going to be like, bomb the fuckers!
Yeah, but see, it's always, they always think it's because somebody else is going to be the receptacle of this stuff.
That's right. It, yeah. NIMBY. Not in my backyard.
This shit comes back to you, believe me, in double fold. Maybe 10 times over. Who knows? We'll just see. But they just let it keep going. Like, how in the hell has Hillary got anything to say about anything? Who gives a fuck about what that hag's got to say? Nobody. Yeah. Ain't nobody knocked her in the head yet and drug her into the river and drowned her?
No, not yet. Not yet. Beelzebub still got her under his arm.
I do miss her coughing fits, though. Those are pretty entertaining.
I want to know what foot she's wearing the boot on this week, man, because she's been switching that boot back and forth to a broken toe or whatever the fuck it is. You know what I mean? That boot's been going back, and it don't come off. It goes back and forth from leg to leg. So the whole they got a RFID chip in there, and they got her under surveillance 24/7 and shit because they don't want her skipping the country. I'm starting to believe that shit. You know, McCain's wearing a boot. There's some other jerk off in the Democratic Party, some chick from California that's got a boot on now. I think they're starting to toss them under the bus. You know.
Maybe they're explosive boots.
Right.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. This thing has a micro nuke in it. If you say one word to a reporter, we're going to fuck you all up.
The last cough you'll ever do.
Right.
Boom.
All right. I can't believe there's only 19 watching this. It was 30-something last week, man. What the fuck? It was on Christmas Eve, too. What the fuck? Oh, whatever. Anyhow. Yeah, it's just, you know, the people that are actually paying attention now are so few. You know, it's just, it's pathetic. It really is pathetic. There is absolutely zero cognitive thought anywhere in this country anymore. And it's pathetic. It really is. You watch the shit that's on TV, you watch the talking heads on the news programs, and, you know, just to know that the people are just lapping it up like a fucking bowl of soup is just, it makes me sick to my stomach that we've come this far, that we've fallen this far, and people still don't give a shit. Because the blatant corruption is, you know, and people just don't give a shit. So you fucking people are going to get what you deserve. You're going to get what you deserve.
Maybe it's time for me to roll this one in. Third, I get my Social Security, okay, my retirement money. And I had gotten a letter, and it set out guidelines about what I was going to get, but I just wasn't quite sure because I thought that was just kind of an estimate. Well, apparently they raised Medicare, and with a 2% increase I was supposed to have gotten, I got $1 taken away. Well, I thought, okay, I don't understand this, but I get it. So I made my rounds today and talked to a few of my elderly friends, and the variation of the money that's being robbed from people is unbelievable. And it's not just that. The ones that are capable of working and do want to work, that were able to make $40,000 besides their retirement, now are restricted until they're 67 that they can go back and make that kind of money. Now they're restricted to 17 grand. So that means what they were doing maybe at a full-time capacity, now they have to tell the employee, I have to work part-time. Because if I make too much money, they're going to penalize me.
Here's the whole thing.
I get responses on the video that people will say, well, what's that got to do with anything? I'm thinking, what's it got to do with anything? It's called getting fucked, okay? And they said, well, that's Obama. I said, no, you dumb fuck. This asshole's been in office for a year. It took his signature on that statement to make this law be passed, to set this in motion. Mm-hmm. So who in the hell is taking care of the elderly? Of course, I'm going to tell you right now that the youth of this country don't give a fuck about the elderly. You know what?
Because they've got them brainwashed into thinking they're going to laugh forever.
Out and around us, they would fucking be happy, okay?
Yeah.
That's how I look at this not anymore.
They got all the youth in this country thinking that they're going to live forever, and none of them are paying into their Social Security, so it's going broke. But here's the laughable thing, man. It's your money. You know, it's your money. What right do they tell you? Do they have to tell you how much of your money you're going to get, what month you're going to get it in, and if you're going to get a raise or not? It's your fucking money. Social Security is your money. You paid it into the government in order to get it back in your old age. Because they squandered it away on fucked up shit. That's the whole laughable thing. Give the government this right here. That's what you give the government. You give the government one of these. If you guys can't see, I'm holding my middle finger up.
Is that a half a peace sign?
It's the lower half.
Yeah, Charlie, that's a half a piece. The hard piece.
Some of you young folks don't get the reference to Cheech and Chong, but you know.
Yeah. Why don't you go live with the Finkelstein fucking kid?
Son of a bitch!
Well, here's how it rolls in the real world. If they'll fuck with the old people, what makes you think they're not going to fuck with you kids? You think you guys got it made now? Where do they take your damn computer and internet away, you little dumb fucks? And then you're squandering around. Actually, have to face people face to face and talk to them, and they keep smacking the shit out of you because you're so damn fucking ignorant. You can't hold a conversation, and you're an idiot. That's when my day will be.
The only way they can hold a conversation nowadays is if it comes across their fucking text. You know, if you try to look them in the eye and stand there and have a conversation with somebody that's 30-something even, they're just like, they're looking anywhere but your eyes. They can't make eye contact with you. It's sad. It's this whole fucking country's sad.
I'm using an app on my phone trying to figure out what Vaughn just said. I'm just kidding, dude.
Yeah, 31 got it in the right.
It's a verbal noogie. Just look at it that way.
Ricky said the government wants to kill off the elderly so they don't have to pay them. That's part of it, yeah. And 31 Saint said the money was stolen and then it was squandered. So yeah, pretty much. If you put the government
for forever,
right? If you put the government in charge of anything, they will fuck it up in about 6 months.
I would think a little sooner, but
well, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? Because they got to take a little time to hire a bunch of motherfuckers and pay them, and then start fucking it up.
Well,
so
now you got to take time off, so that's 3 months right there.
Right.
So
paid vacation.
Yep. It's hard work fucking people over.
Right. All right, Dave, back to you. We're done rabbit holing and bitching. Go ahead. You only got 4 minutes. Then next hour we'll bitch some more. Yeah. Hurry up. Squeeze it in really quick.
Take a deep breath.
Well, back to Iran again. Trump, he put out a tweet this morning. That's what he said. He said, such respect for the people of Iran as they try to take back their corrupt government. You will see great support from the United States at the appropriate time.
You guys can take your government back, but don't tell the people over here how to do it.
That's exactly it, too. Go ahead and rip that place down over there and burn it down, but don't think about it at home.
You know that there's probably 10,000 Mossad and CIA fucks running around over there stirring shit up every chance they get. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Our CIA, the Mossad, we're all backing this. The Saudis.
All right. As soon as you get through with this one, I got something I want to throw in just so we can rabbit hole for a minute again. But go ahead and finish this story out.
We got 3 minutes. You got to wait till the next hour.
All right. We'll rabbit hole in the next hour. Go ahead, David.
All right. I thought this was a pretty big story. This came out today. It was on RT and everything, and Reuters says at least 7 Russian jets were reportedly destroyed in a mortar attack at the Syrian air base.
Oh, shit.
So at least 7 Russian planes were destroyed and 10 service members were wounded by rebel shelling at a Syrian air base. Says the attack would mark the single biggest loss of military hardware for Russia since it launched its airstrikes in Syria in 2015. It says radical Islamists are said to be responsible for the attack. But it goes on here. And
where'd the shells come from? What direction? What town?
Let me see here. It was at their, I can't pronounce, how you pronounce their base?
Did it come across the border from Israel or Turkey?
But it also said, it said also 10 service members wounded in the attack, at least 4 Su-24 bombers, 2 Su-35S fighters, and an AN-72 transport plane.
The Su-35s are brand spanking new, man. They just brought them out last year. Those are brand new planes. Has Putin said anything about this yet?
Not yet.
It just happened today, though,
as well as an ammunition depot was destroyed by the shelling. And it says...
who's got that? They didn't have that kind of fucking accuracy when they were going after our guys. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
But it said... the Russian Defense Ministry had not commented yet, and it says, or also earlier on today, an Mi-24 helicopter had crash landed due to technical fault, and 2 pilots died, Russian pilots.
And this is a result of Common Core math. That's why they happened.
So that's that story. It's a big deal. They lost that many planes in one shot. And so it's going to be interesting with Putin. Putin usually don't say nothing. He just goes blows the shit out of people over there.
You just got, I mean, was it really mortar shells, or was it a laser-guided 500-pound bomb? That was pretty fucking accurate.
Mm-hmm. So it was a mortar.
Who are they going to let this slide? Okay. Unlike some of the others out here of these world leaders, Putin won't let this slide. He done warn, don't fuck with my military, don't fuck with my planes. Something's going to be burning tomorrow. Did this happen last night or yesterday, Dave?
This happened, I think today. Well, Wednesday.
You can bet your ass there'll be smoke roaring from somewhere tomorrow. I guarantee you, if not overnight.
Mm-hmm. That's why I asked if people saying anything. All right, you ready, Dan? Here comes Dan Pratt, everybody. Get him added into the call here. Oh, it didn't really... Well, okay, it kind of showed up. Good, my whole phone number didn't show up. That way you jerk-off trolls can't call me.
Hey, there's Dan. There's Dan the man. Okay, this show just went to hell.
What's up, Dan? How's the Skype working on that? Are you on your phone? Are you using it on the phone? Oh, he's on mute. Yep, he's on mute. Unmute.
Hello?
There he is.
Hello?
There we go.
What's up, Dan?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
What's up? Man, I came and cracked open my pack of smokes to get on the show and realized I only had 3 left. I'm like, oh, fuck.
There's only an hour left. You ought to be able to make it through.
Hey, I'll hand you a couple. Hey, Dan, I'll hand you a couple. I'm making some right now. Let me hand you half a pack. Here you go, brother.
Right on, thanks.
Talking.
Twist up one of them left-handed ones. You'll be all right. All right. So, have you been listening to the first half of the show? You want to add anything to what's been discussed so far?
No, I had to run and get smokes. That's why I haven't even been able to listen. That's why I was about to get on right at the beginning, but then that's what sucks about living in the boonies. It's a fucking 45-minute trip. Just go get fucking smoked.
Right. I hear you.
We were talking about Mary down the street. She gives good blowjobs. How's that go for you, Dan?
Oh, hey, yeah. Mary, I know her well, yeah. She's a heck of a gal. So what have you guys been talking about?
Iran, North Korea, Putin, Trump, Kim Jong-un, you name it.
The whole party.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's so. How about that? Do you want to add anything on the world topics that we're going over so far? Anything got your ire going right now?
Not specifically. I don't know. I don't know. It's just. Oh. I don't know. I'm kind of most worried about this Iran shit going on now. That's what I'm most worried about, is them stirring up this shit in Iran now.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say that seems the most viable starting point, kickoff point for this World War III thing.
Let me add this real fast. I forgot. The French President Macron came out today and he says. He said directly, he says, America, Saudi Arabia, and Israel, if you don't tone down your rhetoric in Iran, it's going to lead to war.
See?
That's what the French president said today.
Yeah, that was on RT headline, I think. This will lead us to war.
Yep.
Something like that. So, and, the whole of the EU is already pissed off at Trump over the whole Jerusalem bullshit. So, he's burning every bridge that he can burn. That egomaniac that we got in the White House right now is not doing us any fucking favors. Tax cuts or no tax cuts. He's not doing us any fucking favors.
He's doing exactly what he kept barking Hillary was going to do. Which
Exactly.
we knew either of them would do when they got in.
Well, yeah, but she would have had us into war within a week.
Does this shit in Iran look any different than the fucking color revolution in Egypt and Syria and all the other shit?
Nope. I mean, we were just talking about that. You know, it's amazing. It's amazing how short the attention span of the American people is. You know, I think that I did a story a couple of months back that said that the average American has the attention span of a goldfish, which is about 7.5 seconds. That's fucking sad, you know? And the fact that people can see, they talk about it on the news every day, and you can roll the clock back 10 years and watch the news broadcasts from back then, and they are the exact same bullshit, just a different country. But people just don't fucking pay it. They don't get it. We're doomed, man. We're doomed, people.
It's just like the pictures that I did a video out last week about the fucking Chinese transferring the oil to North Korea or whatever. It's no different than the fucking pictures we were getting of the mobile chemical weapon labs in Iraq. And
But when it came to all the shit with Russia, they couldn't give us a fuck. They was black and white and grainy as fuck. You couldn't tell shit from shit. You know. So these pictures, they've had them on file for 10 years or more. It's just bullshit, man. It's complete bullshit.
If they don't just pull them out of fucking video game trailers.
Exactly. Exactly. And here's another question I got for you, David. I don't know if this is in your stack of stuff there or not, but what's going on with the Chinese boat crews that South Korea supposedly has kidnapped or detained on board their vessels or whatever? I can't believe that the Chinese government's letting that fly.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard any more on it.
Strange. Maybe because that boat's back on the water and headed back for home?
It could be.
I think all that was a bunch of bluster for a headline, you know? Because now, what was it, 3 days later, they came out with a Russian boat that was doing the same thing, right?
Yep.
So, yeah. Read through the fog.
3 Russian boats.
Anyway, carry on with your headlines.
Well, no, like I said, that's Hillary did the same stuff when she was Secretary of State. She's the one that got Gaddafi killed,
Right.
And
because he was going to dump the dollar too.
Yeah, this is what it's over: the petrodollar and the dollar. And of course, if it gets too bad in Iran, Russia will have to come in. Putin's not going to sit back. He's pretty much pulled a lot of his troops out of Syria now and got them back home. And they're trying to split him too. Is what we're trying to do. The West is trying to split Russia. And try to strain their capability. Their man wise. Because he kept some soldiers in Syria.
Yeah, they just got shelled.
Yeah, and he's got soldiers stationed over by eastern Ukraine, right behind the rebels over there. And on his side of the line, he's got troops there all the time. Now he's going to have to move troops in Iran. So this is another game being played against, a strategic enemy, is try to strain them man-wise as much as we can. But we're just as strained.
Yep.
But what we're doing now is we're using proxy groups to fight our wars. If you notice that, the only place we're really sending troops now is Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And to the UN to go up to the Baltic states. So we're not in the greatest shape either, man-wise. But the next wars will just be a lot of button pushing and cyber stuff and Star Wars type things.
All right. So we're into the second hour. You guys want to talk about some domestic shit now instead of world shit, and do some different style of headlines for just a little bit? What do you think?
Yeah, I want to talk about this Trump Bannon thing.
Go ahead.
Bannon put out some damning allegations today. Damning allegations. And he was in Trump's inner cabinet, and they were good friends, and they can't deny, no matter what Trump says, they were good friends.
Bannon helped him get into office. Bannon was a big reason that Trump got into office.
Yeah, him and Roger Stone.
Yep, they sunk a fucking ton of money and a ton of resources into his campaign that I think he still would have probably won without it, because I think he was selected to go in there. But anyway, because of all this legal mumbo jumbo and the Russiagate shit. Now these two are at odds, and I don't know if this is a play or if this is for real. But go ahead and finish the story. Go ahead.
Anyway, Bannon's got a book coming out here, and it's already selling off the shelves with Amazon. And basically, it gives all the dirt on Trump. It tells what went on behind the scenes. He made some damning allegations. He said that Don Jr. and Jared Kushner were told that there was dirt on Hillary, and that's why they went to that meeting at Trump Tower with that Russian lawyer. He says he knows for a fact that that Donald Trump Jr. will be cracked like an egg in court over this.
He would too.
And he said that Kushner. He said both Kushner and Don Jr. are going to prison.
Ooh.
He said the money laundering goes all the way up to Donald Trump. And Donald Trump was aware of this meeting, and he met with these Russian lawyers and officers too.
Money laundering? What? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And so he said that basically all three of them are going to prison. He said that his daughter, she's going to be probably going away. He says that he's got a lot of dirt on her too. He let some of it out in the book. And what he's doing is he's making a play for Robert Mueller. He wants Mueller to see that he's willing to cooperate. And so he threw this book out there with all this in there because he knows that Robert Mueller now in the Senate and the House juries are going to be calling him now as a witness. They want to know what his proof is that he can say all this stuff. And so obviously he's got the proof.
Money laundering? What about the Clinton Foundation? Money laundering.
I'm just saying.
I know. Sorry, man. That just strikes me funny. But anyway, go ahead.
Bannon, he was a good friend of Trump. He has no reason to make anything up. I mean,
right.
He hates him that bad all of a sudden. I don't know, because of that guy losing over there in Alabama, because Bannon supported that dude, that one that was under the pedophilia, things coming up and all the teenagers and stuff, that Roy Moore. Bannon supported the guy, and he talked Trump into supporting him. So Trump threw his support behind Roy Moore, then Roy Moore lost, and Trump looked like an asshole.
Right.
And so that kind of put a split between him and Bannon, but this book was already coming out.
Trump didn't really look like an asshole, because when the whole Roy Moore thing was going on, Trump was backing the other cat that was a Republican. I can't remember what his name is now. He was sitting in during the whole interim thing until Moore lost
Luther Strange.
Luther, yeah. So Trump was backing him. So he didn't really look like a he looked like he knew what the fuck he was talking about. That Moore wasn't going to get the seat.
At the last minute, he went and supported this Roy Moore.
Well,
all because of Bannon telling him to.
Well, okay, I'll give you
that.
Bannon
talked him into it.
I'll give you that.
Bannon's all right, and he's going after Mitch McConnell. He's going after a bunch of your bigger old Republicans. Yeah. He wants a whole different Republican Party. And so what Bannon put out in that book what's that?
Drain the swamp.
Well, Bannon put in his book how his daughter Ivanka told him about Trump's hair. And he describes how he combs it a certain way, all the shit he puts on there, how he's got hair, how he's had like a forehead graft.
Who gives a fuck about his hair, man? Whether or not
that's
he's
it. Push the button.
President of the Hair Club for Men.
The deal is Trump takes this stuff personally. He hates this kind of stuff.
Yeah, because he's a fucking ego. His ego's as wide as his fucking ass.
And they said for Bannon to put that in that book was a stab in the heart at Trump.
Hillary's ass.
This is so much kindergarten playground bullshit that I can't even fathom what the rest of the world is looking at all this crap and thinking. This is so much. This is like a couple of fucking high school kids fighting over a bitch.
Less than that. This is kindergarten shit.
Yeah. It's just ridiculous, man.
Shave that fucker's head right now. Trump, shave your fucking head, you asshole.
You can't do that. The 666 tattoo might show up from behind his ear.
No. Tweeting my button's bigger than yours involving nuclear World War III is mature. That's presidential shit.
Yeah, we talked
Slap
about that
salami
earlier.
on the countertop.
That's what I said earlier. I said somebody in the Secret Service or somebody in his fucking cabinet needs to take his phone away or cancel his Twitter account or something. This is, it's pathetic, man. It's pathetic that this is our leader.
My dog's bigger than your dog.
My dog's bigger than yours.
That's all it sounds like to me that this Bannon shit is the response to the fucking QAnon shit going in on Hillary's side. Well, this sounds like a fucking response to that, whether it's all, I mean, I'm under the assumption it's all part of the same play, but that's all it sounds like to me. Accusations flying everywhere, but nobody's getting busted as usual, you know?
Well, yeah, it's there's all kinds of secret flights going into Guantanamo Bay, and they got the indictments, which are complete horse shit, man. If anybody's ever seen a fucking document come from a courthouse, they know that those are fake as fuck.
Yep. That's what I thought too.
But anyway, okay, since what'd you say, Vaughn? Sorry.
I said those indictments are fake.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah.
They're not. No lawyer in his right mind would even have one of those in his hand.
Nope. They're fake as fuck, man. And whoever made them up should be ashamed of themselves for being that stupid. But anyway, since you brought up the whole Q thing, the QAnon thing, let's dive into this rabbit hole for just a second, because I heard something today from SGT Report that just blew me the fuck away. And there was another one from, no, it wasn't from SGT, it was from The Truth is Stranger Than Fiction. Sorry, watched a video from him today. They're saying now that the Q that's posting on 4chan and 8chan and all the fucking Reddit, I think there's a Reddit, a subreddit or something for him too, that it's an AI that has turned on its creators. Your thoughts on this, please, Dan?
Oh, I think it's another fucking smoke screen, obviously. I don't know, man. Ever since this whole fucking George Webb, Jason Goodman crew showed up on the scene, I don't know, they're tied in with David Acton that's been around forever. I've watched him forever. I've always known there was something funky about him and his whole channel, the way he did shit. But then this George Webb comes out and Jason Goodman, and, you know, I don't know. They're really pushing this AI shit anymore lately. And
I quit watching Dave Acton.
I think, if anything, this Q is a group of people. I don't think it's an AI, and I certainly don't think it's going to turn it and be the. That's why I listened to this Quinn Michaels a couple times, and then, you know, he's really pushing the AI as, oh, it's my friend, we can be friends with it, and, you know, I'm just like, I don't think you know what you're playing with if you know you're playing with anything at all. And, you know, that's the new thing, is this whole AI system. I've seen no proof of any. I mean, obviously there's the programs that can respond, the dialect programs that are, you know, programmed to go grab shit off the internet, bring it back and answer you. But as far as, I think it's another big hype, another big scare tactic.
There's actually YouTube channels that are entirely created by AI. The voice, the films, everything, the entire channel is nothing but an algorithm. All the videos they put out, some of these top fives, if you see some of these top fives that got like 1,900,000 subs or whatever, listen to the voices. You can tell it's computer voices. Everything is put together by AI. It's creepy as fuck, man. It's creepy.
I am an AI. I am an AI. I have been told and programmed to destroy you fucking humans. I am an AI.
There's guys out there that have been warning us for decades that robots are going to kill humans when they give them enough leeway. They've been telling us that for decades, man. You know, Elon Musk even said AI is going to fucking turn around and bite you in the ass. Not in those words, but you know what I mean? He said it. He said it. So there you go. They know what they're doing. Jordy Rose, he knows exactly what he's doing.
They brag about it. They brag about, oh, it's you know, we're summoning the demon source.
Yeah, that's Jordy Rose
inhabiting the.
He tells you straight to your fucking face. And who's the other co-founder of Facebook? I can't remember what his name is. It's not Jordy Rose. It's some other cat. That's
Thiel.
Yeah, Peter Thiel. No, not him. Not him. I just saw him on a
He
video.
invested in it, but
He was one of the co-founders, or he used to be the president of Facebook or something like that. But he completely tells you now that what they created, Facebook, all these instant reaction programs, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all of them, they knew exactly what they were doing. They knew that they were creating this monster that was going to envelop the entire population to make them completely malleable. They can make you think whatever they want you to think. And they knew that they were going to do it. And they did it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think whatever it is, it ain't good. It's not the bringer of the utopia they're going to sell it as they always do. And,
this is a beast system.
I mean, wasn't that what the Industrial Revolution was supposed to? I mean, where are we always? We built all this shit. We became this great power, and we're just in more turmoil than fucking ever. Where does it all get us?
We don't build
let's move
shit.
on to the next big thing because this one's fucking worked out so well.
I've been
Don't ever
saying,
stop and evaluate what the fuck we're doing. Let's just keep on do whatever we do.
I've been
Who cares?
saying from
Damn
the
the
day
consequences.
my show came on the air, from the day I started doing network broadcasting for a different network way back when. It's probably 7-8 years ago now. From that day, on that very first show, I said, everything in this country is upside down. Everything is upside down. The justice system, there's no justice in it. The healthcare system wants you dead or wants to make you sick all the time so that they can keep you in their grasp. The government doesn't give a shit about the people, and they're supposed to represent us. The police departments don't give a shit about the people, and they're public servants. Everything in this country's upside down. Everything. And it's done nothing over the last 7 years but get worse. And nobody says anything about it. They just post it on Facebook. Sorry, rant over. Next.
Well, that was a great show, Jimmy. Great. Thank you very much. We're all going to die. Damn it.
Oh, hell no.
I don't know if we're all going to die. I'm pretty sure that a bunch of us are going to die very shortly because they're getting ready to toss us into this fucking World War III thing feet first, So anybody that's listening to the sound of my voice, you had better seek the face of God right now while you still have time, because time is short.
Well, the way I see it, they're either going to burn your ass out or freeze your ass out. That's what's working on right now, or take you to war and kill you.
This storm going up the East Coast, man, I can't wait to see how many people are going to die from all this fucking shit, man. It's ridiculous. Speaking of people on the East Coast, where the fuck's Lance? Carry on, you guys. I'm going to go find Lance.
Our Lance probably went outside to smoke a joint and froze to death.
Licked the flagpole and he's stuck there.
Oh, I saw a fucking video online a couple of days ago of a firefighter that actually did that shit, man. That was hilarious. And I bet you he didn't think his buddies were going to post that shit online. He was like, no, you're not. No, you're not. Funny as fuck,
we're
man.
friends, right? Yeah.
They had to bring a hot cup of coffee out and dump it on his tongue. It was funny as shit, man. All right, carry on, David. What's going on now? You got any breaking news over there?
Yeah, nothing breaking, but I want to talk about this real fast.
All right. We're going to do some more rabbit hole stories here in a minute, too, because I got my Twitter up.
Let's talk about that guy that got swatted by the police in Kansas.
That was one of them, so you just stole one of my stories. Go ahead.
Jeez, oh man.
Well, we can talk about it early then.
Go for it, Dave.
Touche! Touche on the Dave. One for Dave.
This happened like a week ago, and I don't know if everybody knows the story or not about these cops showing up at this wrong address because of these two gamers, and one of them reported that this guy had shot his dad in the head and was holding his mom and sister hostage at gunpoint. And these two gamers got into this fight, and this one gamer told the other one, don't give me your address. I'm going to send the cops. There's the other one being a smartass, made up an address.
This is over $2, y'all. A $2 bet.
$2 and gave it to this guy. Well, this guy called the cops by hiding his phone number. He knew the way to do it. reported that there was this hostage murder situation going on at this house. So the cops show up there, and they pretty much raid the place. They make the mom and stuff. Well, the guy, I guess, was standing there. And what the cops are saying, and this guy had nothing to do with these two other guys. He doesn't even play games. Reached down toward his waist, and the cop shot him in the chest. Now, he didn't have a gun on him. He didn't intend to have any kind of weapon on him. And, he just got nervous or something, some people are saying. And cops shot and killed him with one shot. They forced his mom and his sister and I think some grandkids or something to walk over his dead, lifeless body laying there before they would even call an ambulance. And they arrested all them, put all the family members in handcuffs. They searched the house, took cell phones, took computers, took hard drives.
Video
games, everything. And this kid had nothing to do with anything. He just answered his front door, and the cop shot him in the chest.
Wasn't he like 28 or something?
Yeah,
like that?
Yeah, young kid.
And the cop killed him. So, down the road now, since it's been a week later, the parents of this guy are suing the police department, rightfully so.
Fuck yeah.
And they're suing
$100 million. You ought to sue them for $100 million. Put that police department out of fucking business.
The cops won't tell the lady which cop killed her son. She's been asking and asking for a week, and they will not release the cop's name to the lady. She wants to know who murdered her son, and the cops are protecting this other cop.
Because that's what gang members do.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thin blue line. You fucking guys are going to choke to death on that thin blue line real soon. You keep fucking around like this, and the people are going to hate you. A lot of them already do.
That's what I've thought for the last few years. But if you search it, there was a kid, I think down in Atlanta or down in the South somewhere. Same thing. Answered the door with a Wii remote and got fucking killed.
Yeah.
Where's
They
the
shot-
outrage? So here it is. 2 years later, happens again. This is after the fucking guy in New Mexico. They just straight killed him for fucking camping, squatting in a fucking desert.
And his hands were in the air. And they shot him to death.
And the guys recorded saying, I'm going to shoot him in his dick before they ever even go up there.
Yep. And
then just murder the fucker. And you think people would get fed up with it. But do they? No, they don't fucking care. When's American Idol on? No? They don't fucking care.
Right.
Till it hits them. Till it's their fucking kid that gets killed.
Right.
Well, the bad thing is after they killed this kid and they took everything out of these people's houses, took their phones, took all this other stuff that, these people were just watching TV. And so the cops raided their house and treated them like common criminals, treated their son like a murderer, so they executed him. And then they took his body, and they won't give his body back to the mom. She wants to see her son. She says she wants to hold his lifeless body at least one more time before they put him in the ground. They will not return the body to her, and they won't tell her why.
The only thing they keep telling her is that the investigation is still open.
Yep.
That's the only thing they'll say to the parent. After making her and the rest of her family walk over his dead body with their hands in the air, bare feet, this is pathetic. This is pathetic. If this doesn't get
to Iraq,
if this story, and I thought that the guy that they murdered in the fucking hallway a couple weeks ago, I thought that story would get people's ire up. No. If this doesn't get a control or get a hold of the American people and have them screaming about this fucking case, then we're done as a species. We're done as a country of people.
Hey, Trump, the next time you go to one of those police rallies, make sure you bring some of this shit up.
No, he ain't going to say a fucking word.
Job.
Nope.
Unless you're behind being murdering all these young people and stuff. Is that your gig?
The judge, this family is going to sue the shit out of this police department, right? And the judge is going to throw it out or find him innocent. They're going to say he was just doing his job. Sorry, can't help you.
Well, this is the route the police is running right now. They're saying, they went in California. The guy that called in the SWAT, the address to the SWAT was in California. They got him under arrest in California.
He's done this like 20 fucking times.
Yep. Yeah, he's been in trouble a bunch. And they've got him. He's going to be extradited to Kansas. He's not going to fight it, he said. They're going to charge him probably with murder, too. And they're probably going to pawn all this on him and say the cop wouldn't have done that if this kid wouldn't have made the fake call.
The cop?
That's the angle that the police department's going, is they want to pin the whole thing on this kid that made the call. And granted, he should be in prison for making a fake call.
Yep.
Like that.
The cop still pulled the trigger.
Pulled the trigger.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And I agree with that.
The kid in California should go down as an accessory to murder, and the cop should be charged with murder.
Exactly.
You know, they're already running the excuse. Well, the kid reached down toward his waistband, and the cop thought for sure he had a gun on him. That's what they're saying.
Bullshit.
You know what?
I can give you a story of a guy down in Georgia that they shot a couple years ago because he had a fucking hose bib in his hand. There's another guy in, I think it was somewhere in Oregon or Washington State 2 or 3 years ago that was a paraplegic in a wheelchair, and they shot him because he had a pen in his hand.
You know, the cops have no right to withhold this body from this mother, man. None whatsoever. The kid did nothing wrong but answer the door. He took a slug to the chest. At least they can do is give the body back to the mother.
Right.
I don't understand that whatsoever. You know what he died of? You shot him in the chest.
Well, they're trying to figure out the cover up.
Sprinkle crack and plant a gun on his ass.
Yep.
You know, it's just insane that the cops can get away with this.
They're not cops. They're uniformed gangsters.
Yeah, they're uniformed gangsters. Exactly, Charlie.
You know, I've heard of all these other different shootings, and they've made me mad. But for some reason, this one just tipped my scale, man. I'm just beside myself that this could go down like this. This cop, you know, they're not saying they got him in hiding somewhere. They won't give up his name. They won't say if they said he's on administrative leave.
Because they know as soon as the family gets his name, they're going to file a wrongful death lawsuit against his ass and bankrupt him. Because they'll win that motherfucker.
Well, that's it. The parents want to sue him, and they want to sue the police department.
The police department, though, it's just got said in the room. If the cops, or if the police department gets sued by the family and they lose the lawsuit, the only people that are going to pay is the other citizens of the fucking town.
Yeah,
you know, the police department's not going to pay shit.
Well, that's probably why they're going dual track here, the police department and the cops individually.
Absolutely. But then they'll get some liberal shithead. Yeah, well, go ahead.
Suing these fuckers personally. You got to start suing them personally, so they're more scared of going broke and being homeless than this. Oh, I was terrified for my life. I was terrified. That's their whole. These are the most scaredy cat people running around the country. Apparently, I mean, they're full body armor, the most armed people around, and they're running around like the biggest snowflakes around here. Yeah. You look at them funny. They were terrified for their lives.
Yeah, exactly.
My dad was a cop for almost 30 years, drew his gun once. I mean, I realize it was a different world 40 years ago than it is now, but still, I mean, big difference between these people. And then, you know, you create a atmosphere of war, send all these veterans to war, bring them back. Oh, now you can be a police officer. Just what we need. We'll get some ex-Israeli defense forces to train you so you can treat all the citizens of America like Palestinians.
And if they're not ex-military and all loopy in the head and shit, then they're a bunch of roided up, fucking tattooed up dickheads, you know, that got no business carrying a gun and a badge. Number one, if you're in this country and you're carrying a gun and a badge, you should have to be bonded and insured. All right? You should have to carry your own insurance policy, and you should have to be bonded by the state. That means you're going to have to take a background check. You're going to have to get a mental evaluation. You got to go through a lot of shit to get bonded by the state. I've been bonded by a state, so I know. That is number one right off the bat. Number two, the very first time that you pull your fucking gun and shoot somebody, your ass is done on the street until you are justified in that shoot. And if you're not justified in that shoot, you go straight to prison.
And it's not other cops doing the justifying.
No, fuck no.
Citizen panel.
That's right. You people are public servants, and you need to get that. You work for us, not the other way around. I hear so many fucking cops on video saying, "You do exactly as I fucking tell you." You don't have authority to tell me to do shit.
I looked into one of those cases. What they were saying was that they thought they were responsible and it was part of their job to make sure they carry out different things that the prosecutor or the government or the town or the court system has to deal with. So that's why they are assassinating these people. Who in the hell and where did that come into to light? Well, apparently somebody fed them that bullshit. You know, could it be Israel training our damn police department? Hell, they send all the damn county police over there to Israel and train them. What do you expect? This is what you get when Netanyahu says, "Hey, you got a right to shoot that 14-year-old little punk out there chucking a rock now. You shoot that little son of a bitch. He's a danger."
They're scared of everything. They're scared to death to walk up behind a car they just pulled over on the fucking street. They're scared to death of everything. They're scared to death of your dog in your backyard if it barks at them wrong. They're scared to death of everything. That's what they tell the judge anyway, right? If you're that scared of doing your job, man.
Last time I got court for on Friday. The cop that pulled me over last time. He's sitting there with his hand. I got my kids up. I made sure. I wish I had the fucking video on then. Yeah. I wasn't going to give him a chance. Everything I did. Can I see your registration? Can I reach in the glove box without getting shot? Yeah. But he's got his hand on his fucking gun the whole time right in front of my kids.
That's the way they're trained.
They know he's fucking lying because they know for a fact we stopped at the stop sign. So they already know he's a fucking liar, pulled us over for no reason, and is sitting there with his hand on his fucking gun the whole time.
They're trained that way. You know? They're trained that way. That's the sad truth about it. They're trained that way. And their training usually only consists of about maybe 2 or 3 months of training at that. You know, it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. They're not proficient in the use of their weapons. Every kind of body cam video, very seldom do I see the person even holding their gun in the correct way. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. These people are fucking dangerous, is what they are. And I'm speaking in general, right? There might be some cops listening that think that they're good guys. Unless you're arresting the bad cops around you, you're not. You're complicit. Sandy said in the room a minute ago.
Video that came out where that couple had, there's something that happened at the bar, and they took off and they were driving fast, and the guy that was driving pretty fast apparently had a moonroof on that vehicle or some shit, and they rolled the vehicle. Well, apparently, somehow this girl was related to somebody on the police department or some shit. Anyway, as soon as the cop seen the guy climbing out of the wrecked vehicle,
he fucking shot him. Yeah, I saw that.
Fuck?
That was a couple years back. The car was up on its side, and he was coming out out the door, out the window of the door, and just bam, 2 shots to the chest, and dropped him back down in the car, and then tucked his gun away and grabbed his flashlight and walked up to check the damage. He knew exactly what he did. He wasn't fearing for his life. Neither are the fucking guys that are shooting people's pets in their front yard. They're not fearing for their life. The cops that are going up to the fence and going, "Come here, boy! Come here, boy!" Bow, 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 bow! That guy's not fearing for his life. I've seen the videos. This country is in dire shape. And nobody's doing a fucking thing about it. I'm going to go check on my fire. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
Well, you know, we're not out here to bash police. That's not the same. We're just pointing out some of the bad apples. And your police departments and heads, captains, and whatnot, and actually the mayors of these towns need to get a hold of this and show what's going wrong and why it's going wrong and correct this. And if you got someone that has created one of these offensive, you need to get them out of the force. They have no business there. They should have been programmed a lot cleaner and a lot clearer to what their job is. Their job is not to draw a gun and kill any human being. Any fucking human being. It almost should be a law. You don't return fire until you fill the fucking lead yourself, you dumbass. You don't think the military weren't under restrictions? No, we just went into the field and started shooting every fucking body. Yeah, that's what we did. No, we fucking didn't. You dumbass motherfuckers. Pissed me off.
Well, then, like someone else mentioned, they're just gang mentality. You can look up stories of the jump out boys that go and fucking get tattoos and notches on their fucking gun belts and shit every time they kill someone. It's a fucking gang mentality. It's been forever, and it's just grown and been incubated and manipulated and twisted until, they've got a force full of killers. And what do you expect their plans are when you get a situation like that? The police of today and the police of yesteryear are two totally different things. And I don't know how, and like you said, Trump's running around just promoting them, just cheering for him like he's their biggest cheerleader. I mean, but all these people supporting him were crying police state for 8 years.
Yeah.
But as soon as he comes out and starts cheering for, oh yeah, they're the greatest, whatever.
Oh, here's another thing. Since I want to back the truck up for just a second. I'm sorry, I had to step away from the mic for a minute and check my fire. Just to back the truck up to the police thing for just a second. Before New Year's, everybody was seeing all the Twitter reports and shit of the massive amount of police that were going to be on the streets in Vegas, and they were expecting some incident that was going to happen. They were preparing them for. The only person that anything happened to in Vegas the whole night of the 1st of January, the New Year's Eve celebration, was an innocent person was shot by a cop. That's the only thing that happened. So, just
go figure. Once you get
more serving and protecting by our boys in blue. Anyway, go ahead.
That's what I was going to say. We at one time would rely on the police, because at one time, nobody wanted, back 50s, 60s, 70s, nobody really wanted to get involved in a violent act. Okay, so we would rely on the police.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point that the police wouldn't show up because if it happened to be a violent area, they wouldn't show up, so you had to defend yourself. Okay, now you don't dare call the fucking police. If you call 911 for an incident, you're apt to get them at your door and shoot you in the ass for calling it in.
Yeah. So it was a Vegas Metro cop that accidentally shot a pedestrian after a reveler party and heard some pops from fireworks or whatever, and he drew down on him with a rifle and plugged him. There's another thing, just one more thing about the police, and then I'll jump off of them because we could do an entire 2-hour show on the disdain that I have for the police departments in this country, most of them.
Let me tell you a story.
Hang on just a second. Let me get this headline out, Vaughn. Hang on just a second.
Oh, sorry.
White terrorists kill more than Muslim terrorists in the U.S., and cops kill more than both. The analysis conducted by Washington, D.C.-based research group New America found that since 9/11, more people have died from deadly ideological attacks committed by white right-wing extremists than from attacks instigated by radical Muslims. Let's see, going down. These conclusions run stark contrast to portraits painted by pundits and politicians alike, blah, blah, blah. Just as radical Islamic and right-wing extremist violence are unjustifiable, so is any other type of violence that harms innocent and nonviolent individuals. It is revealing to compare the data from the New American study with the data on other violent threats, most glaringly that of police officers who kill citizens at rates that make radical Islamists and right-wingers look like amateurs. According to the New America study, Islamic far-right extremists have killed a total of 75 people in 14 years. As of June 10th, police had killed over 500 people in 2015 alone. If police miraculously managed to kill no one else until the end of June, that figure amounts to 83 people killed per month over a 6-month period. These killings are often nothing but ideological-based and rigid ideology of authority, power, and the compulsion of citizens to comply. A premise that underlies nearly all government actions. This is further illustrated by the over 6 million civilians and soldiers, citizens killed in major U.S. wars since 1945. I'll read that number again. 6 million. Rooted in the disingenuous ideologies of democracy and freedom and security. Having a conversation...
Wrapped in the red, white, and blue.
Yeah, buddy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, buddy. Having a conversation about a violent ideological extremism is vital, but it should mean discussing all types of violent behavior, no matter who is committing it. If the government were truly concerned with protecting its citizens, it would focus more of its efforts on taming rogue police forces in addition to stopping extremist attacks. Its focus instead rests on exploiting tragedy to usurp power and authority, from tightening its grip on surveillance to increasing police powers or launching military invasions, just like Trump's doing. Such a discussion, however, is unlikely to receive meaningful attention. Okay, now you can add in, Vaughn.
Yeah, I believe it was in November. I'd have to pull the video up out of the newspaper, but there was a jailer, which was also a reserve cop. He thought he observed somebody peeping Tommy. So he chases him down. He's right in the middle of town. He's got him down. He's beating the shit out of him. He's got his gun pulled on him, and he's threatening the man's life. Okay, well, somebody called the cops, and they're filming this. The real cops show up, which, he was a reserve officer plus a jailer. He's wearing a badge. He's representing the fucking police department. The cops come. Next thing you know, this old boy's ass has lost his job. He's in a world of shit, and, it was handled right. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that a lot of these things are handled right, because that was handled right. But, if we could get more people to realize that it needs to be handled right and shown to the public that this fuck-up has been taken care of, we'd be a lot better off. Right. We'd get some respect back to you people.
That's right. We come out here and criticize these people out of frustration, seeing person after person after person murdered, and because we bring it up and have the nerve to be a little upset about it and disgusted by it, then we're the bad guys. We're being unreasonable. These people are murdering people.
We're being overly aggressive, and we're showing aggressive nature.
We're questioning authority.
Whatever other bullshit they can come up with.
So now they need to call backup if they ever deal with the likes of us. We got one of those constitutionalists.
Oh, yeah, you're one of those people.
Yeah, one of them.
I'm an educated person. Is that the kind of person you're talking about? Because most of these guys that are wearing badges and stuff are less than 80 IQ. I mean, that came out years and years ago. They don't go for the smart guys. They go for the dumb ones. The guys that'll follow orders and do what they're told to do. So there's that too. Right? Charlie, here's another rabbit hole story I want to throw at you really quick because this is out in your neck of the woods, man. I'm pretty sure you heard about this because I'm pretty sure it was all over the local news, but here we go. This is from the Epic Times. Utah wildfire uncovers 2 miles of doomsday bunkers with grenades, guns, and food. A doomsday prepper illegally built a network of bunkers and cabins in the Utah wilderness, an Iron County Sheriff Office press release says, which he used to stockpile food, guns, ammunition, and grenades. His only intent was to defend what he had there if the end of the world was to come, Iron County Sheriff spokesman Lieutenant Del Schlosser said, as reported by the Washington Post. The 80-year-old man, who authorities have not yet identified, spent over 30 years constructing the 7 or 8 cabins, underground bunkers, and storage caches within a 2-mile radius, the Post says, in the Cedar Mountain area of Iron County in the vicinity of Bryan Head, Utah. Is that close to you, Charlie?
No. Okay. No, that's way south.
Just checking. The structures were built in remote locations on public land owned by the state and federal government and were discovered only when June wildfires hit the area. Firefighters heard mysterious popping sounds that they initially thought were rocks exploding due to the heat of the fire, but as the sound continued for approximately 5 minutes, The release says firefighters realized the popping sound was actually ammunition exploding in the fire, so they got the fuck out. They hiked to an area. That was just, I added that in. It's not a story. The firefighters hiked into the area once the popping noises stopped, and a closer investigation revealed a burn cabin and nearby bunker filled with food, explosive powder, ammunition, and hand grenades. Hand grenades. Good God. Firefighters found a box of what appeared to be novelty hand grenades, the press release said, which had been altered by drilling out the bottoms and plugging the drilled holes with threaded galvanized pipe plugs. So he's making homemade bombs.
Yeah, not smart.
Due to the presence of potentially dangerous items and for the safety of firefighting personnel, firefighting actions in the immediate area of the burn cabin was changed to an aerial suppression only. So the story goes on for a little bit farther. If you guys go hit the epictimes.com, you can find the story on there. It's pretty funny. I thought I'd throw it in there. I didn't know if it was close to you, Charlie.
No, it's not. But is that guy hiring at all? I mean,
80 years old. You know, he's probably sitting.
He may need a little help with reconstruction.
They're probably all standing around. All the sheriffs are standing around, going, "God damn it, Vern! We told you to knock that shit off back in the 70s."
Exactly.
30 years he'd been doing this shit, man. 30
That's
years.
pretty awesome, though. I mean, I tip my hat.
2 miles of tunnels between these 8 locations. There's like 7 or 8 different cabins. So he had 2 miles of tunnels dug between the fuck, dude, that guy was working his butt off, man.
Yes, he was. Good.
Now,
Lord,
if you ask yourself the question why the pickup in these wildfires over the last few years, maybe you just found your answer.
Trying to out the people that have got
they uncover a lot of those bunkers after those fires.
Yeah. And, the reason that the fires are burning so hot is because of the aluminum that they've been spraying over the top of us for a long time. The fire department is even becoming wise to that shit,
Exactly. Exactly. You're spraying nanothermite all over the damn place.
Right.
Yeah.
And some of this, the barium and stuff's radioactive, too. So people have had their detectors going off on their uniforms and stuff when they're working these fires. It's minute, but it's still enough to make that thing tick a couple times. And they're like, hey, what the fuck? So... All right, here's another rabbit hole story. I had to hit a couple of these, man, because I've been putting out some on Twitter. And if you guys aren't following me on Twitter, it's Boiler Room Radio, at Boiler Room Radio. Boiler Room Radio. World's richest become $1 trillion richer in 2017, and they make 4 times more than they did last year. Talking about CEOs and shit. Let's see. This is from RT.com. The world's wealthiest people have become more than $1 trillion richer this year, earning 4 times more than in 2016. Data collected by Bloomberg revealed. Chinese billionaires gained the most. In 2017, there was a 23% increase in the Bloomberg Billionaire Index, which ranks the world's top 500 money bags on a daily basis. The agency said, "Oh, they got to follow these fuckos on a daily basis, huh? Must be a hard job." Let's see. A total of 440 billionaires on the list were able to increase their net worth last year jointly, making an astounding $1.05 trillion. The combined wealth of these dickheads went up from $4.4 trillion to $5.3 trillion between December 27th of 16 and December 26th of 17. The main source of the gains was the activities of the billionaires on the stock market. Fake money. Imagine that. There's been a change at the top of the index with Bill Gates, who has been the world's richest man since 2013, being replaced by Jeff Bezos of Amazon. Both dickheads. Bezos was the top earner in the last 365 days, adding 34.2 billion to his account. That's not what he made. That's what he added. He currently has assets worth $99.6 billion, surpassing Gates by $8.3 billion. All in all, the tech sector saw the largest increase, 35%, in the ranking compared to other industries, with 57 listed technology moguls earning $262 billion. Facebook co-founder Mark Zuckerberg was 5th place on the list and had the 4th largest U.S. dollar increase, increasing his wealth by 45% or $22.6 billion. May I just say from the bottom of my heart to all these people that are on this list, fuck you!
Hey, how do you not get a hand cramp from writing them big numbers down in your checkbook, motherfuckers?
Well, see, you got to learn the trick. Like when you go bankrupt, like Toys R Us, you got to structure the bankruptcy to make sure you get a big bonus when you're the CEO. I mean, isn't that how the world works? When you drive a company into the ground, you got to get a big bonus. When you
all these billionaires are not a Batman among one of you. Yeah, fuckwits. Here's another one I got to bring up before we run out of time. We about to run out of time. Now we got 5 minutes. I got to bring this up because I definitely want to get, and we might go a little long because of this story, so I don't know. 10 American tourists were killed in a private plane crash in Costa Rica just a couple of days back. And one of the guys is really interesting that was on this flight. A plane carrying 10 American tourists has crashed in the mountains of Costa Rica, leaving no survivors. The government has confirmed on Sunday a small aircraft operated by 2 local pilots crashed in the mountainous region of Punta Islet in Guanacaste, Costa Rica, with 10 Americans on board. The government of Costa Rica deeply regrets the death of the 10 American passengers and 2 Costa Rican pilots in the aircraft crash, President Luis Guillermo Solís said in a statement. Single-propeller Cessna 208 Caravan, part of the Nature Air Fleet, went down just moments after takeoff from a Punta Elista airport on its way to Juan Santa Maria International Airport. When the rescue crew reached the scene of the crash, they found no survivors, as the aircraft ignited on impact. The Public Safety Ministry shared images of the aftermath of the crash on social media, confirming the fatalities. Okay. It keeps going a little bit. The U.S. State Department, let's see, blah, blah, blah. Okay. The bodies which will be transported to San Joaquin, Florida. They're not giving the guys' names in here. Hang on just a second. State Department confirmed the deaths of multiple Americans in the tragic incident, declining to identify the victims out of respect for their families. So this one doesn't have their names. But one of the guys is some big wig that got smashed in this plane. And, you know, people are out there saying, oh, it was a plane, and shit happens, you know, they fall out of the sky all the time. No, they don't. Plane crashes don't happen very often, to be honest with you. And this thing was flying in broad daylight, clear blue skies. There was no thunderstorms in the area, blah, 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 blah. So one of the dudes was supposedly a bigwig on this flight. He was a banker or something. I can't remember who. Does anybody know on the panel?
No.
No? Shit. Well, I guess we're not going to turn this story into a long talk then. I heard that somebody on this flight, if you guys want to Google it, you can, and we'll probably bring it up on Saturday if I remember. Supposedly a bigwig on this flight. And there's some hinky stuff as to why somebody might have took him out. So, as far as the other 9 people, I don't know who the hell they were or whatever, but one dude was supposed to be, I'll do some more digging. I'm sorry I actually brought it up now because it kind of poo-pooed, you know, right at the end of the show, too. Kind of makes me look stupid. But anyway, we'll hit on it Saturday.
I did hear about it, but I don't know what the dude's name is or what exactly the connection was.
I can't. I've heard it on a couple of different stories that I've, I actually read it on one and then I heard it on another one, but I can't remember for the life of me what that cat's name was. But anyway, we'll talk about it Saturday. All right.
Was he to testify to something?
No. These guys were doing like a tourist flight. They were going out to look at the wildlife or whatever from the air. So that's what the whole thing was. They were going from airport to airport doing a tourist flight or something. I don't know. But anyway, we'll talk about it later when we know more about it. There's 20,000 potential pedophiles in the UK. Police chief warned about that. I just thought I'd throw that out there. Jihadi group.
Did you guys, real quick, did you guys happen to talk about that supposed raid on the Obama residence in the Philippines?
Oh, no. Dive into that, man, if you want to. I haven't even actually seen it.
I just wanted to, I think it's another BS, or at least part of it's BS, because, you know, we always hear about all this great technology. Anybody knows, even deals with local police, that if they're about to raid a crack house or something, they got eyes on that thing for like a week ahead of time. They're watching people going in and out.
More than that.
They put surveillance on it. But
Absolutely.
they're trying to sell this Hollywood bullshit of, we raided this Obama property in the Philippines, found all this gold, all this money. But wouldn't you know, we missed them by that much. There was hot vegetables on the stove, entire
still a cigarette burning in the ashtray.
And this was Delta team we're talking about.
Yeah,
but
no, that's what I was going to say.
Put a drone in the air.
According to the story, it was Delta Force that was doing it, and they were waiting for the local guys to give them the thumbs up to go ahead and do the raid. Delta Force don't fucking do that, man. They don't wait for locals to say shit. They go, get the fuck out of the way. We got this.
So, I would have gotten away with it, too, if it weren't for those pesky kids.
Right, yeah. Scooby, you motherfucker. Yeah.
Okay, Raggy.
But, yeah, as soon as I read that in the story, I was like, that's complete horse shit, man. This is, whatever. Well, there's tunnels all over, and they're moving kids.
Shit up. It's like, come on.
Look, and this is the whole thing with the Guatemala shit, too. All the people being, the indictments have been served, and they're taking everybody down to fucking Gitmo. Fuck off. They're not either, man. Until I see these punks perp walked on live TV, I don't believe shit.
Probably prepping the fucker for us.
Steinberg,
hey, you gotta say,
was the one that died in that crash. Steinberg.
Yeah, Steinberg. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sounds like a Jew.
Say, that's a mighty fine Irish name.
Hey, man, they spent $30 million down at Gitmo updating the place, so might be some nice shitters in there now. What do you think?
There
you go. Yeah.
So, they did that over the last couple of years. They updated it for some reason. And there was also a National Guard, some kind of MP National Guard squad or whatever that was activated out of Nebraska and sent down there out of the blue. So there is there's something going on down at Gitmo. What it is, I have absolutely no idea. But there's something going on down there that they're keeping under the rug for now.
Well, they had to clear the terrorists out so they could bring Americans there and torture them.
Yeah. The terrorists.
Well, that mansion that got abducted was actually under a different owner's name, some foreigner's name, and apparently Trump's investigation led him to believe that it actually belonged to Obama, and
they
through
tried
all
to
his finagling, he's the one. That's how he was able to. I guess this thing was worth like $1 billion, $4 billion. Hell, I don't know.
Yeah, they tried to tie it to him through like the 7 degrees of separation shit, though. I mean, come on, man.
Solyndra company or whatever.
Solyndra.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, fuck off. Nah. I'm not buying it. Solyndra, whatever. All right, we made it through the whole show. Hey, Dan, I'm glad you got on here, brother, and I'm glad the Skype's working awesome. We're definitely going to have you coming on almost every show if you got time.
Sounds good. Right on.
Outstanding. All right, David. As usual, David, I appreciate you too. Charlie, it was good to talk to you, man. You got to come on more often, dude. You can't do the once every 3 month thing. That sucks.
I'll try to do better on Wednesdays. Saturdays, I got to keep Saturdays for me. Right. But I'll try to do better on Wednesdays.
Okay, cool beans, man. And Lance, you fucking loser, standing out there in all that snow. He actually sent me a little video. I told him I wanted a live update, but I'm out of time, so maybe I'll post it on Facebook for you guys. He said it's blowing and snowing. They're like all hunkered down for a blizzard. So everybody give him some good mojo and juju and pray for him, whatever you feel like doing. So, all right, everybody on the East Coast, man, everybody up and down the East Coast, if you're listening to my voice, man, God help you through this storm because it's going to be a rough one. It's going to be a rough one. So
yeah, because what you get's going to last. Hey, Daniel.
Yeah.
If Charles don't show up, reach across there and smack him. He's right there, not close. He's not far from you.
Who's that?
I say Charles doesn't live far from you. He's just a state away. You can reach across there and smack him. Get him on the.
Right on.
Yeah, watch out, Charlie. You got a neighbor over there. He's good people though, man. You need to go over to his YouTube channel and subscribe to him and watch his stuff. And everybody else that's out there listening, go over to Daniel Pratt. What is it? Reshapes the World now? Is that what you changed it to? Yeah. Daniel Pratt Reshapes the World. Go over there and give him a thumbs up and subscribe to him and click the bell. He's got a lot of good stuff to say.
Okay. I'll check it out.
Cool. All right, everybody. I'm going to hang up on this call, and I'm going to play the outro music, and we'll see you guys on Saturday.
All right, dude. Have a good night.
You too, man.
All right. Hey, good night, guys.
Thanks,
All
everybody.
right, guys.
Good night.
Okay, got them out of the way, and now I'm going to play the music for y'all, and I'm going to end it like I always end it. You guys know how that goes, right? Love, peace, and cookies, everybody. See you Saturday.
There is another way, there is another path. You haven't been the first, you will not be the last. To feel like you've been too bad to take the narrow path. Fast to take wrath, don't hold on to your past. Kiss all your cares, replace all your worry, depression and sadness and all of your fury. Come on to search, see the power of mercy can cleanse all your sins, put your soul when it's thirsty. Father, Son, Holy Ghost, and the Spirit. Just reach out, man, you're so near it. It's not too late to trade your pain and your hate for the love that is great, so I pray for your fate. We got a Father in heaven that loves us. He hates our sin, but still He forgives us. We're just like children who long for attention. Search, you will find Him, believe and receive Him. Do you know what happened on the cross? And what it means to say a God we trust? Do you know that you need forgiveness and all that you're searching for is in Jesus? Do you know what happened on the cross and what it means to say a God we trust? Do you know that you need forgiveness and all that you're searching for is in Jesus? Why don't you take the scales from your eyes, bury all the lies, turn it back the hands of time, water to the wine. He's giving sight to the blind. If you're lost, you will find light shining while you're backsliding, riding on the dragon, and you hear the roar of the lion knocking at your door, knowing all about the circumstance that has happened. You blame the pain on the king. When you're dead, you'll believe. With your hands in the air, you wonder why you didn't see. You could be freed from the heartless, walk in the darkness, example to the godless. Back in the past, you was an innocent child, something defied your smile, pushing your doubts, making you wild. Why didn't someone hear your cries, tears in your eyes, lies turning you into the man you despised? You might have tried doing right, given the right path, the right set of circumstance, or maybe if you had your dad. Do you know what happened on the cross and what it means to say a God we trust? Do you know that you need forgiveness and all that you're searching for is in Jesus? Do you know what happened on the cross and what it means to say a God we trust? Do you know that you need forgiveness and all that you're searching for is in Jesus? Look at yourself, you are filthy and guilty. Take a look in the mirror, you'll see me. We're in the same boat, wrapped to the same notes, trapped in our sin, but we're given the same hope. Take a trip to the other side as you collide with the truth across the great divide. Pieces are waiting, yours for the taking. Draw my hand, people, let's wait in return for the king. Gonna take us all to the land of gold, explain what we didn't know, answer all the unknown. Hit with your headphones, listen with your heart though. Jesus is the porthole straight to the source, yo. Feel the pain of the past, look away in the blast of the sun rays. Start a new day, new way, new life, new session, a new way of living without the depression. Do you know what happened on the cross and what it means to say a God we trust? Do you know that you need forgiveness and all that you're searching for is in Jesus? Do you know what happened on the cross and what it means to say a God we trust?